Welcome back to the best division in football with your boys Awthentik and The Beard. We got a jam-packed show this week, man. We got about good 3 games here, man, with them Eagles on the bye, man. The New York Giants are going to be headed down to Jacksonville to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. A matchup that we got to win, man, for bragging rights, for authentic bragging rights. We have got to win that game. I got a bunch of receipts I'm going to be keeping for that one. Hopefully the Giants can go down there and take care of business. And then you got the Packers headed to Washington to take on the Commanders. And don't forget about the Cowboys taking on the Detroit Lions. That's going to be an interesting matchup. Detroit Lions looking like one of the more improved teams in the NFL, you know, when the year started. But that 1-4 record right now coming off that bye says a little bit otherwise. So me as a New York Giants fan, I'm looking for them to bounce back, you know, and take care of the Cowboys. But we're going to start with that game today. But before I bring on the best co-host in the country, I wanted to share a little clip with y'all that I thought was kind of hilarious. I was watching my homie Chris Sims on Unbuttoned today doing his picks. I wanted to kind of get ready for the parlay show on a Sunday. And he said something that I thought was absolutely hilarious. So I definitely got to show y'all this clip before I bring on the Beard one time. And you already know StreamYard trying to get a boy some issues bright and early. But this one was from Chris Sims on Unbuttoned, speaking about his regiment, his 420 regiment that I thought was pretty hilarious. Let me just see. It's just still processing. Here we go.
Yeah, definitely. I got a medical card. It's the best thing I ever did. You know, weed is less expensive than it is when you had to buy it from, you know, some guy on the street, and the quality's better. So it's a win-win, and that's for sure. I think tonight I got what is it? I have strawberry cough. That's what I'm going to be rolling up tonight in my backwoods. Tonight's the one night I roll up a cigar.
Chris Sims is rolling up some backwoods. Let me bring on the best co-host in the country one time. My brother, your brother, The Beard. What you think? That's on NBC, bro. I thought that clip was hilarious, man.
Listen, this ain't when we was growing up. You know what I'm saying? Like when we used to have to be on the route and smell goods and this and that. Like now,
oh, yeah, the route.
Everybody is. I mean, I think the best part about that was the backwoods. I mean,
he said
it doesn't take
Kush,
me.
And I'm going to be rolling. He said I'm going to be rolling up a backwood tonight.
Now, this is what I want to know.
I was like, what?
I would love to see a video of Chris Sims rolling it backward, because I got to know how much leaf is he using, how he handles his veins.
Right.
I need to know if he's breaking down the backwood like he breaks down a film. That's what I want to know.
He sounded like it, man. He went into a little bit more details after that. I thought it was hilarious, man. I'm just like, I know Chris Sims a real cool, laid-back kind of dude. You know what I'm saying? You could just tell by the, you know, his speech on the show and whatnot. He curses a lot. He's not as formal as a lot of these other analysts and whatnot. But as soon as I heard backwoods, I was just like, yo, Chris Sims smokes backwoods. Like, and he was even talking about how he normally don't smoke backwoods because, like, you know, he's trying to keep his lungs clear to tobacco smoke and whatnot. But I thought that was just absolutely hilarious. I definitely had to start the show with that. Shout out to Kai talking about them Russian cream backwoods, them exclusives one time early.
I totally thought you were going somewhere with Taylor Heinicke when it started. I was like, is Chris Sims about ready to use my analogy of Taylor Heinicke being a pothead?
You know,
because he's always high and late.
We've been smoking on that Ravens pack for a week. Before that, we were smoking on the Packers pack. You know, we've been smoking on a lot of different strains this year as New York Giants fans. So saw that from Chris Sims, man. I thought that was just drop dead hilarious, man. But we're very limited on time, man. We got the Thursday night game. The Cardinals are taking on the Saints. So let's get right to these shout outs, man, and then we'll get into this first game, man. Salute to everybody that's in the building bright and early already, too, man. Before the Beard gets off into these shout-outs, I just want to reiterate tonight's prize. We're going to be giving away an Xavier McKinney rookie card to a lucky Giants fan. So I'm rooting for all the Giants fans in the trivia section, hoping that y'all can get that right answer. We got a great trivia question, so make sure y'all stick around for that. And Beard, let's get to it, brother.
Shout out. Big shout out to Gene, who is still celebrating the Ravens win and blaming the boat trip for the last 5 years. Big shout out to Old Man Rob in the building. I hope you got your package, Old Man Rob. Old Man Rob was our winner last week for our giveaway. Big shout out to Coach Taylor. JMO is in the building. Waterfly, who has jinxed my Commanders and is now part of the reason why Taylor Heinicke is the starting quarterback. But, it is what it is. Shout out Waterfly. Big shout out to Stan in the building. Stan was having a good old time on Twitter like always. Appreciate you stopping
Big
by,
facts.
Stan the man.
You know it's love, Stan. You know it's love.
And Awthentik has to do this one.
Michael Knight. Hit me up on Twitter too, man. Shout out to Michael Knight one time in the building.
Kareem Yee is in the building. Good to see you, Kareem. Appreciate you stopping by. And Lucas checking in all the way from Australia. What's going on? Big shout out to Max Webster. It says, yes, sir. Can we go 6-1?
I hope so, man. Hey, Max, I was telling the Beard about that TikTok clip you sent me, man. He told me I got to send that to him in a second, man. I thought that was pretty hilarious.
Yeah, because I'm all over the TikToks now.
TikTok's
it didn't used to be, but
I was on that app for 5 minutes when Max Webster sent me that clip. I was like, I need to leave right now. I'm not 13 years old. I need to get up out of here. I was seeing new dances. Nah, it was just too much for me.
I love TikTok now. There's a lot of cool stuff on TikTok. Big shout out to Sean G. Appreciate you stopping by.
Sir.
One of our resident Cowboy fans, Cod 001, is in the building. What's going on, Cod? Great to see you. No Mets, no Nets, no Jets. Dropping that AATB. Appreciate you as always. JG wants to know who's saying they're underdogs. Vegas is saying you are underdogs.
Is saying that.
Jacksonville is currently favored to win that game. Big shout out to D-Lord Bruh. Says, let's eat Jaguars 6-1. Big shout out to Marjorie, always dropping the Marge bombs in the chat. We appreciate you as always. Big shout out to my homie Corey on the Warpath. Says, we up in here, HTTC. I was on last night with Corey. If you guys want to go ahead and check that episode out, all you got to do is go over to his channel on the Warpath. It was a good old Fashion Commander chat. Appreciate you stopping by, my friend. Who else we got in the building? Big Los is in the building. Great to see you. Great to see you. Oh, here we go. Big shout out. Old Man Rob says, shout out to the Beard in the shipping department. Got it. Love it. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to see. Appreciate you. Big shout out to Chris Peace as well. Always holding us down, letting everybody know on Twitter that we are rocking and rolling. We appreciate each and every one of you guys who are watching us right now on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and of course, YouTube. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that Awthentik and The Beard is back again. Big shout out to Ref the District. I see you guys in the building. Also, appreciate y'all stopping by.
Woo! You hype. You feeling it, right? That beat kind of gave you a little juice right there.
It did give me a little juice, you know what I'm saying? Plus, I mean, look, it's just football makes everything a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? Like,
definitely.
when we go through these weeks, both of us, we work for ourselves. We put in a lot of grind, and, sometimes it's like knowing I can just watch a little bit of football. It makes me feel good, and I get to talk about it with all the lovely people here at the Awthentik and The Beard. Fam-a-lamb!
Big facts, man. Let's get into this first matchup, man. Lions are headed over to Dallas to take on them Cowboys. All right, man, the 1-4 Lions are headed to Jerry World to take on the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys sitting at 4-2, man. Cooper Rush did a great job in relief for Dak Prescott. Cowboys are favored by 7 in this game. Last week, the Lions had a bye, so they didn't get anything in the win column or the loss column. But the week before that, they got blown out by the Patriots. Under my radar a little bit, man. They got beat 29-0. And the Cowboys are coming off an L to the Philadelphia Eagles 26-17 on Sunday Night Football. This is a revenge game for head coach Dan Campbell, who played 3 seasons with the Dallas Cowboys. He was drafted by the New York Giants as well, too. So shout out to Dan Campbell. Hopefully he can go over there and, represent a different blue and be able to take care of business over there against some Dallas Cowboys. Quarterback Dak Prescott appears to be set for his return after missing 5 games with that fractured thumb on his throwing hand. Check this out, man. Dak Prescott is 3-0 against the Lions with 8 touchdowns and 0 interceptions, man. The Dallas Cowboys are going to be facing a tough offense. We know that. The Detroit Lions they have the number 2 ranked offense in the NFL right now. They're also hopeful that DeAndre Swift will return to the lineup after missing 2 games with an ankle injury and a shoulder injury, man. He's banged up over there. But the Detroit Lions have done a lot with that running game this year. Running backs Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift have a combined 750 yards on the ground through 5 games. That's the most for the Detroit Lions since 1991 when your boy Barry Sanders was back there. I saw somebody, it was a very foolish tweet running around the internet, got very viral, talking about, I wasn't old enough to see what Barry Sanders looked like, but I imagine it looked like CMC with the Panthers. People were not happy about that because Barry Sanders, we all know, could be the best running back ever. Possibly the best running back ever. So that comparison was a little bit lame if you ask me one time. But Jamal Williams, man, he's doing a good job with the running game over there with Detroit. He's tied for second in the NFL with 6 rushing touchdowns. That's tied with Jalen Hurts as well, just to throw that out there. The Cowboys have allowed an average of at least 4.6 yards per carry in 3 of their 6 games. And right now the Lions, they're averaging 5.5 yards per carry. That's second in the NFL to the Baltimore Ravens. I'd look for the Detroit Lions to run the ball early and often in this game. Do you know any word about Amon-Ra St. Brown being back for this one?
Yeah, he was actually back.
He was back last week?
He was back last week, but he definitely didn't look 100%. Obviously, I don't think that offense was just not clicking in general. But, yeah, I think the Lions actually probably got – some people don't like to have their buys this early in the season.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that, especially when you're sitting at 1-4. That's
yeah, but for them, I think it was probably a good timing, considering that DeAndre Swift was banged up, Amon-Ra St. Brown was banged up. They still got a couple of people that are also still banged up going into this game, but Amon-Ra St. Brown with an extra week of rest should be good. I'm not sure when they're getting their draft pick wide receiver off of the injury list. I heard some rumblings that he was, getting close, but I don't know if I was, heard that in my sleep watching fantasy football stuff or what, but that's something to keep our eye out in the near future. But I did want to give a big shout out to Lax for the $4.99 super chat. Says happy Thursday, everyone. Let's go Giants. And then big shout out to Lax. Again for the $1.99 super chat. Barry Sanders is the best running back of all time, no debate. He is the best Madden running back of all time. I'll say that much. Madden 92 for Super Nintendo. HB toss, spin move, sideline,
I know a running
touchdown.
back that was better in that game.
Who's that?
Heath Sherman. Yeah, you I don't even know what you talking about, dog. I could see it on your face. Heath Sherman, man. Oh, man, there was a stretch play to the right that worked every damn time, bro. Every time.
So, Juke says Jamison Williams is out for the entire year.
Is he?
I don't know where I heard that. I thought he was coming back. Kai talking about, I hope this isn't a trap game for his Dallas Cowboys. I mean, listen, the Detroit Lions have the number 2 offense in the National Football League. Statistically, obviously, which is kind of crazy because they were putting up all those crazy numbers and then they got blanked by the New England Patriots. It's not like the New England Patriots are the 85 Bears or anything. I just think that, for this Lions offense to be clicking, they need their weapons out there on the field. And Dallas's defense, 7th in the league, so it's going to be an interesting matchup. Both of these teams did have played a common opponent in the Philadelphia Eagles, and both of these teams lost to the Philadelphia Eagles. Dak is back, obviously. I don't know if I'm ready to give him the Zach Wilson Minneapolis rapper rhyme.
Here we go.
The Dak attack is back, Jack.
Nah, we need more bars than that for Dak.
But he's going against the Detroit Lions, who, listen, this is so weird. You're the number 2 offense in the league, but their defense is so
terrible.
bad. They're literally 32nd in defense, pass defense, rush defense, defense. They're just
all but pass defense. Pass defense, they're 26, which is damn near at the bottom of the league.
Maybe I just saw all the 32s and just put it all in there. But I think it's gonna be huge if DeAndre Swift gets back. DeAndre Swift is you already know I'm a huge DeAndre Swift guy. I know that you're a big DeAndre Swift guy. I think he's key because obviously they're not gonna be able to do what the Eagles did because they don't have Jalen Hurts at the quarterback position. So that the RPO sort of carrying.
But
Michael
that offense
Parsons
still can turn up. They could turn
exactly.
up and they're a big play offense.
That's why I think that DeAndre Swift is so important because that running back, that type of running back is somebody that will make Micah Parsons, kind of, you gotta hold back a little bit.
Yeah.
Because as long as you can motion that running back to on whatever side Micah Parsons is on, it kind of, it takes away, even if it's just a split second, it takes away a split second from him being able to just go right at the quarterback in certain circumstances. And you talked about the big play.
This is kind of funny.
That was
the Cowboys in
2020.
2020. When that defense, before they got Dan Quinn, their defense was dead last. They were terrible.
That was a fun season to watch. But the Lions, 6.2 yards per play. That's tied for second in the National Football League. So they definitely are a big play capability team. Detroit, though, is giving up a ton of yards on the ground, 167.6 yards per game. Dallas, on the other hand, they've been running the ball. Zeke's been running the ball a little bit better. I think you want to say he's gotten over. Yeah, last 2 games he got a 70, over 75.
Over 75 in both games. It's the first time since early last year that that's happened.
Yeah, so Dallas, they average 118.3 yards on the ground, but they have 2 running backs that they can kind of rely on there. So I think for Dallas, it's going to be important to run the ball because you don't want to put too much on Dak first game back. You know what I'm saying? Detroit has this really bad, rush defense. I think it would be smart to kind of ease Dak in, run the ball, take advantage of Detroit's weakness against defending the run. And then you just got to hope your defense plays the way that Dallas defense has been so far because Detroit, like you said, they can just come out of nowhere and just start piling up points.
Yep.
Jared Goff, only quarterback in the NFC to have 2 4-touchdown games this year.
I saw that. I had that nugget on my page too. I like that. So
it's kind of like, the Kai saying that he hopes this isn't a trap game. I think this is kind of like one of those that's what it's made of. The recipe is there. The only difference is that obviously Dallas is coming off of a loss. Detroit's coming off of a bye. So it's kind of an interesting setup here for this game. I'm looking forward to it, though. I want to see how this offense of Detroit looks against a defense like Dallas.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious to see what it looks like. You talked a lot about the Cowboys rushing attack going up against the Lions because the Lions are, they're dead last in rushing yards per game. I think you said it was 168. But also I think that Prescott's going to be able to throw the ball in this game too because the Lions don't get pressure on the quarterback. Right now they got the fewest sacks right there next to the LA Chargers, and the Cowboys lead the league with 24 sacks. So this could be a lot of like the Cowboys forcing the Detroit Lions to get off the field faster than they would like. And then when and if the Cowboys need to throw the ball, they probably will have the opportunity to do it. And it's a good game for Dak Prescott to get his feet wet coming back. If this was like, if this was any other quarterback who was kind of just ramping up to what we know they would be, I might question, kind of easing him back into the pass game. But this Dak Prescott, man, he's very familiar with this offense. He's been playing with CeeDee Lamb for a long time. Michael Gallup, same thing. So I think he can throw the ball a lot. And this stat at home for Dak Prescott, it floored me. In his last 9 home starts, Dak Prescott's got 23 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. What's wild about that stat is in those games, it's 9 games, right? He's 5-4. So that goes to show you that a lot of the times when the Dallas Cowboys are losing games, it's not on Dak Prescott, especially at home. And then defensively, I think that the Cowboys are going to be able to give Jared Goff, some trouble here. Right now, the Dallas Cowboys have allowed 1,100 net passing yards. It's the fewest since 2003 for the Dallas Cowboys. So their defense is doing great things. We know that front has been able to get after the quarterback, especially with the surprise performances from Dorrance Armstrong. Shout out to William Steele, man. He's been talking about Dorrance Armstrong for like 5 weeks now, man. He's already tied his career high of 5 sacks through just 6 games, man. He's replaced Randy Gregory to the extent where you don't even have to think about them losing Randy Gregory. I mentioned in William Steele's stream the other day, I was like, are y'all mad that y'all – first, I asked them about Jalen Smith going to New York Giants, and they were like, well, we really haven't even had our eyes on him because we've been having good linebacker play over in Dallas. And then I asked them about Randy Gregory. Are y'all missing Randy Gregory? And the 2 things they said Randy Gregory, the problem with him was, yeah, he played very, very at a high level, very, a lot of tenacity in his play and whatnot, but he was always hurt. And that's one thing I kind of overlooked. And then they also talked about Dorrance Armstrong stepping in, and that made it a lot easier for them to forget about Randy Gregory. Couple key injuries in this one. Dallas has been missing tight end Dalton Schultz for about, 2 games now, 2 of the past 4 games with that right knee injury. So I think that also could help them out if he could get on the field as well. I like the Cowboys in this one, man. I think that, the Lions need this win. And on the parlay, I've talked about that a lot. When you get teams with their back against the wall, when they really need a victory, they're going to play with a little bit more emphasis. You're going to leave it all out on the line when you can't lose a game. I talked about Washington being that team against the Chicago Bears on Thursday night last week. When the Raiders were winless, I talked about the Raiders, same thing. And then they went out there and they got their win. So I think that the Detroit Lions are going to come out with some urgency for sure. I think they can make it a game, but I think Dallas's defense is going to be the big difference in this one. I'm going to take the Cowboys to win this one, man, even though I'm going to be praying to the football gods that the Lions can come out with a W. I'm going to take the Cowboys in a not really close game. I think it'll come down to the fourth quarter pretty much, and I'm going to take the Cowboys in this one 27-20.
I got 24. No. Excuse me. Yeah. 24-23 Dallas.
Close one. One
I almost
game.
went 24-21, but then I was like, you know what? I'm going to spice this up a little bit. I'm going to go 24-23 Dallas. But the Lions could win this game.
Definitely. The way they could win is if they get out to the early lead. They got to put up a bunch, just like how the Eagles did. Eagles got up 20-0, I believe, or 20-3 in that game last week. That's what the Lions are going to have to do. You want to go into the half, have a struggling Dak Prescott, know that you eliminate the run in the second half, and really all you got to do is defend against the pass. Hopefully you're up by like 2-3 scores. That'll be the the road to a victory for them, I would think. But it's going to be tough, man. I mean, I like the way Jared Goff is playing. I like that stat that you put up about Jared Goff too, man. Only quarterback in the NFC right now with 2 games of what is it? Four touchdowns?
Touchdowns plus, yeah.
4 touchdowns, yeah. So, that offense is definitely high-powered and surprised a lot of people. But I just think in the end, the Dallas Cowboys going to be a little bit too much, man.
What's interesting? You brought that up about, how that Philly game started and how Detroit needs to get out early. I wonder if there's a way to find a stat on teams' records who have allowed, either turn the ball over or have allowed 7 points within the first 2 minutes of a game. Because it's got to be that early strike momentum, like a kickoff return for a touchdown or a fumble on the first play, a pick six on the first pass, that sort of situation really is a game changer, especially if it's your first possession, because now, you're basically in the hole and you haven't even touched, the other team hasn't really even touched the ball yet. You got the ball first, and it's it just kind of messes things up second half, sort of situation. They're going to get the ball first also. So I'd be curious to see if I could find that.
I'm sure we could find something on that. I would think the first touchdown wouldn't matter as much, but teams that get up to a 2-score lead, yeah, that's going
14-0, 4 minutes into a game.
Yeah, that's tough. It's tough to climb out. Only good teams can get out of those kind of games.
Buffalo, Kansas City,
New York. Got 2 victories right now, down by 10 in the fourth quarter, man. Giants is doing things, man.
Very
and speaking
true.
of the Giants, let's get to it, man. I wanted to get past that Cowboys game extremely fast, push it to the side, and we can get to talking about the G-Man one time.
Giants are on the board with 11:16 to go here in the third.
All right, man. New York Giants, man, headed down to Jacksonville to take on my man Chambers, Jacksonville Jaguars. We got to get this W. The Giants are looking to get to 6-1 for the first time since 2008. Giants have won 3 straight for the second time in 6 years, have 5 wins by a combined 21 points, man. That's the part that's getting a little scary for me, is that the Giants cannot continue to keep winning games like this where we got to come back in the fourth quarter. But we definitely got the quarterback right now to do it, man. Daniel Jones has been playing great football his last 11 games. In his last 11 starts, he's 8-3 right now. Last week, the Giants beat the Ravens, man, in impressive fashion, stopping Lamar Jackson. We beat them 24-20. The Jaguars lost to the Colts in a close one, 34-27. Now, for all of y'all that are wondering why the Jacksonville Jaguars are favored in this game, I was telling the Beard about this off air. This is literally what it is. So the Jaguars are now coming off 3 straight losses to the Eagles, the Texans, and the Colts. That loss to the Texans got me feeling like, I think the Giants can go down there and get this dub. But this is the nugget right here of why the Jacksonville Jaguars are favored. In all 4 of the Jaguars' losses this season, they've all been by 1 score. So They're losing a lot of close games. I think the largest deficit was against y'all. I think y'all beat them by 8 points. That was the largest deficit. But right now they're coming into this game with the 11th ranked offense and the 11th ranked defense. The Giants are one of only 2 NFC teams that have a losing record against the Jacksonville Jaguars, like ever. It's the Tampa Bay Bucks and it's the New York Giants. So we got to find a way to be able to get this W. The Jaguars have lost 18 games in a row. I don't know if you had this nugget on your page. The Jaguars have lost 18 games in a row to teams in the NFC. We just took care of Lamar Jackson with his little record against the NFC. We smoked on that Lamar pack, that Action Jackson. I'm hoping that we can do the same thing against the Jaguars in this one. To me, the key matchup is going to be Saquon Barkley against their defense. We know that they got a great front over there. They drafted the rookie. They got Josh Allen on the other side. Saquon Barkley right now leads the NFL with 771 scrimmage yards. He's got 616 rushing and 155 receiving. He's facing a Jaguars defense that ranks 3rd against the run, allowing only 3.6 yards per carry. And they've only allowed one 100-yard rusher all year. But this makes me feel a lot better because it was a hybrid running back, man. It was Miles Sanders. And if we're talking about the best hybrid running back in the NFL right now, you know who that is Saquon Barkley. When it comes to Miles Sanders,
Spike don't care.
we're not really caring too much about that. But he did get 100 yards against this Jaguars defense. So I'm looking for the New York Giants to get an early start, man. We've been talking about this for 6 weeks, man. New York Giants have not got out to an early start the entire season for real. We've had games where we only put up 3 points by the half, 6 points by the half. It's time to change that. And I'm starting to see through Brian Dable's game plans a little bit, not in a negative way. But what I'm starting to notice is that they don't want to run Saquon Barkley early on in the game and really start to get the running game clicking in the first half. And I think that they're trying to save gas for the second half. I just want to see it get a little bit more balance, just a little bit more balance. Try to get Daniel Jones, feasting off of what Saquon Barkley can do early on with the running game. Put some points on the board early, man, and have Jacksonville have to pass the ball to get back into this game. We know that Trevor Lawrence, man, he can be rattled a little bit when pressure starts to get to him. And Dexter Lawrence, man, I'm looking for him to have a big game. Like Wink Martindale was asked in his conference this past week in one of his interviews, how come Dexter Lawrence is getting so many snaps? And he said, if you had a Rolls Royce, you'd want to go drive it out there, right? And that's exactly what we need to do. Dexter Lawrence, 3 straight games with a sack, man. He has the most sacks in his career. I think he's got 4 right now. And Kayvon Thibodeau got his first sack last week. I'm looking for these guys to put a lot of pressure on the quarterback and force Trevor Lawrence to make some mistakes. I forget what that game was that Trevor Lawrence had the 2 fumbles in, but that's the kind of game I'm looking for. Was that Philly?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking for something like that, man. He's a young quarterback who's definitely on the up and up, but I'm looking for us to just put the pressure on him and watch him unravel. I mean, that statistically, the Jaguars offense is playing some good football. The record doesn't say so. I think the Giants got to go down here. Don't sleep on the Jaguars. Get that early lead, and I think that's the roadmap to victory for the New York Giants. What are your thoughts on this one?
Well, it's a weird matchup for me. Like we just talked about trap game for Dallas. I think, this is something that the New York Giants have to look at as a sort of a trap game atmosphere. But I think with the coaching staff that you have, I don't trap games fall. That's a bad coaching team fall for trap games more times than others.
This one you can't really look at a trap game because it's not like Kansas City's going to Jacksonville. And we're not favored.
And you're not favored. The New York Giants, they're 5-1. You want to know what the New York Giants are against the spread?
5-1.
5-1 against the spread.
Oh, yeah. And what's crazy is the Jaguars are 2-4.
Yep, 2-4 against the spread. So it's going to be interesting. Listen, the defense has to force some turnovers. Jacksonville has been known to turn the ball over. They are 8th in the league in turnovers with 9. And then obviously, Jacksonville starting. We talked about Travis Etienne I think it was on Sunday in the parlay.
Yeah,
Travis Etienne starting to get his footing in this offense again. He's had back-to-back games of over 100 yards from scrimmage. So he's a guy that can be a threat out of the backfield catching the ball. They kind of got a nice little 2-headed monster with James Robinson and Travis Etienne. So that's something you want to keep your eye out on, obviously. Now, Jacksonville's run defense is good, only giving up 3.6 yards per carry, which is 3rd best in the National Football League. But they have given up the 10th most rushing touchdowns. So that's when you kind of okay, if Daniel Jones can do enough to get us down into the red zone, Saquon.
I like how you said us. I like that. Yes, us. Yes. Shout out to the Beard one time.
Did I say us? No,
yeah,
I didn't.
did say us.
I bet you guys. Now, obviously, Jacksonville only has 10 sacks on the year, 27th in the NFL. Jacksonville also has the 10th worst red zone defense, allowing touchdowns on 61.1% of red zone opportunities. So, if the Giants can find a way to get into that side of the field, use Saquon Barkley to score touchdowns, I think they have a great chance of winning this game. Now, half of me, I got a little bit of Jaguars blood. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of Jaguars, a little bit of Bengals, a little bit of Texans. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So this is going to be a good game, I think. I think this is going to be a good game. Not like a sloppy, 19-17 game, but I think it's going to be a good
two
game.
Thursdays ago.
Yeah,
Washington Bears.
That was 13-7, but a win's a win, right?
A win's a win.
I do want to give a big shout out to Jooks for the $5 super chat. Says Dan in the chat thinks Kadarius Toney is in the doghouse and is not hurt. If that's the case, I wouldn't like that Dabs is withholding talent, though it's working.
I don't think that's the case. I'll keep it funky with you. Shout out to Dan too, but I don't think no one's going to have a player in the doghouse and be lying about a hamstring injury. And if you look at what Jordan Renan posted today on his Twitter page, he showed you exactly what Kenny Galladay and Kadarius Toney have been doing during practice. So it's not like Kadarius Toney's just like on the side with the third team. He's actually doing individual drills trying to get his hamstring back right. So for me, I just don't think that's the case. I do like that Brian Dable is not extremely transparent. Like, I can give you an instance earlier this year after the I think that was the Packers game when Daniel Jones twisted up his ankle a little bit. They asked Brian Dable, so, like, can we get some details on the Daniel Jones ankle injury? He looked down at a piece of paper and he said, it's an ankle. So I like that Brian Dable's not being super transparent, like telling the fans everything they need to know, but I don't think he'll withhold information about somebody being in the doghouse and try to pivot it into saying it's an injury. I just don't see that. But shout out to Jooks for that $5 super chat, man, and pulling up and rocking with us today, man, on this Thursday edition of Awthentik and The Beard, the best division in football.
All right. Yeah, and I have to agree there. I almost got drawn into that too earlier in the season. Actually, Awthentik and I had a conversation about that. And it's that if that happens generally in the NFL, it happens for like a week. And then it comes out that they're in the doghouse or they're getting traded or they wanted to trade, So generally you would see that sort of initial, backing it up. So
I love this from Mr. Fitness too. It's like Dable's update on the injuries. He's improving. Wan'Dale Robinson was day to day for like 3 weeks. I love it. I love it, yo.
21 days.
I love it, yo.
Man. Jahan Dotson tweaked his hammy today.
Oh, that's not good for y'all. So he's definitely going to be ruled out for y'all game, huh?
We'll see. Gotta wait and see.
Yeah.
So
shout out to the graphics department too. This is the first week that the New York Giants logo has been white. Shout out to the graphics department.
Graphics department always killing it. I mean, I'm so used to looking at it when it says Commanders that now these names look like they're shrunk. But I guess it's just because the Commanders are so.
Yeah, you definitely getting a little bit of a mirage from them Commanders. Y'all need to change something about that name. Even this week, I got an email from the graphics department. They're like, we can't fit it on the screen. We can't make the banner any wider. Awthentik. I'm like, hey, got to figure it out. So. From what I'm hearing, the Washington logo's kind of hanging off the block a little bit. We'll see.
Hey, well,
Man,
sounds
what about a logo, bro? I'm starting to, it's not that I'm not invested in the graphics department or anything, okay? It's not like I work for them, right? But I'm starting to see this trend of that W, right? And I'm like, why did y'all keep that logo? We couldn't get a commander, some kind of commander, Army commander, something on there?
Bruh, do you know they voted, like, on the mascot? The mascot is like a pig and a army suit or something.
I did hear about that. It was a hog. What was the option?
It's a hog or a dog or something. I don't know.
I think it was a dog.
It looks like they got it from Fiverr. So shout out to Washington.
Don't disrespect Fiverr. You can get some quality work from Fiverr.
You can, but you can also get some $5 work from Fiverr.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. So, like, the reason why I know about Fiverr real heavy, right, is a lot of my clients get features from Fiverr. Like when they need a singer, man, these girls be fire. They be vocals be on flames, bro. I be like, you just gave that to somebody for $5? What's going on here? I would never be on Fiverr. I value my work. This is 75. 500 Fiverr.
A 105er.
A 105er, yeah. We definitely not doing no Fiverr vibes.
I mean, you heard Washington bounced their check too, so we're.
Oh yeah, we did hear about that. That's Corey from On the Warpath, right?
Yeah.
That's his saying, right? The bounce check.
Yeah, they bounced
Yeah,
the check
a lot of turmoil, man. But
Somebody
what do you think
won.
about this game here?
I'm gonna go. I was trying to let you pick first, but
I'll pick first. But before we pick, let's go into this.
Big shout out to Big Lowe's for the $9.99 super chat. Says tapping out early. I gotta go watch the Yankees. Boo. One love, fam. I might not hear the 999, but I will feel it in my heart. Big shout out to Big Lowe's. Appreciate you, buddy.
Big shout out to Lowe's, man. Appreciate you pulling up, man. Best of luck with the Yankees tonight, man. Hope y'all get that dub. I know the Beard's kind of feeling a little different. But, yeah, hope y'all get that dub, man. Thank you for pulling up and rocking with us. So I'll give you a score prediction on this game. Shout out to Evan Ingram. This is going to be a revenge game. I saw a lot of people trying to shit on Evan Ingram actually on Twitter, man. I'm not – dog, he's gone. He's not on the team. I'm not I'm not wishing this guy to not do well, okay? But he is playing against my New York Giants, so we're wishing for him to not do well in this game. But I'm not going to bring up all the old stuff and all the drops and blame him for Daniel and blah, 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 all of that, right? Evan Ingram, do your thing over there down in Jacksonville. He's looking for his third consecutive game with at least 5 catches, so he's doing something right. You're not getting them 5 catches against the New York Giants on Sunday. Giants are going to take this game. I picked against us last week, doubting my boys. Didn't think they were going to get the win against the Ravens. I thought it was almost virtually impossible for us to beat the Packers and the Ravens back-to-back. And 2 weeks ago, you definitely couldn't have told me that we were even going to split those 2 games. To come out with the 2 victories, I hope that the Giants don't come back down to a different kind of an earth and lose this game to the Jaguars. The Jaguars are definitely a beatable team. I got a lot of receipts on the line for this game. I'm taking my Giants, and I think they're going to reach their output of their highest point total again. I think the Giants are going to score 27 points in this game and a victory over the Jaguars, 27-18.
18. That's great. That's a nice number.
Them regular numbers don't be hitting, bro. What was the score of y'all game last? What was the score of y'all game last week?
12-7.
You think somebody predicted that? 12-7?
I mean,
although I did see about 2 or 3 weeks ago, somebody predicted one of these games. It went completely viral. I forget who it was on Twitter, but they picked a game spot on. Like, it was one of the Thursday night low-scoring games. They picked it spot on.
Oh, it was the Colts-Broncos game?
I think so. I can't remember, but it went crazy literally after the game when everybody was like, wow, you picked the exact score perfectly.
All right, I'm going to go 23-20. Giants.
Okay.
23-20 Giants. Big shout out to Lax044 for the $4.99 super chat. Say, I'm wishing Ingram doesn't do well this week. He can play well every other week, but not this week.
Yep. That's exactly how I'm feeling, bro. That's exactly how I'm feeling, man. Evan Ingram was a good dude, man. He, just couldn't make the big plays. He only had that one big year when he had Odell Beckham on the roster, and that was that. But, hey, I wish him well, man. Jaguars on the up and up for sure, man. The record doesn't say so, but they're definitely on the up and up.
Yeah, no Mets, no Nets, no Jets says, I don't see the Jags scoring more than 12.
See, like, I kind of felt that way, and then I went back and I looked at some of the tape from the Chargers game, and I'm like, man, that offense was clicking, man. The key here is to not allow one or the other running back to get over 100 yards, I think. If you allow James Robinson or Etienne to really get moving, which Etienne's going to be a problem. I know he's going to be a problem. But I know Wink Martindale also is going to place an emphasis on stopping the run this week and forcing their quarterback to, make the throws down the field to beat us. But I kind of agree with you, man. The Jaguars have not been that impressive all year long, and they're a team that makes mistakes down the stretch. That's the one thing I've noticed about them.
So I've seen this question a couple of times. I think we should just answer it for the good people. I want to know how old Authentic.
I'm 39. Beard's 38.
There we go.
1983, 1984. I've known this dude since we were in second grade or something like that. Basketball tournaments, all that good stuff, man.
80s babies.
80s babies, man.
Shout out to Word for the $1.99 super chat. Says shout out to Awthentic and The Beard. Appreciate you, Word, as
shout out
always.
to you, Word. Shout out to you, bro. Hope everything's going well, man. Word been a day one rocking with us over here, man.
Facts.
So big salute to you, brother.
Big facts. Big facts. All right, so we both got the Giants. Both got the Cowboys.
Yeah. It's going to be hard for you to catch up. Oh, some key injuries in this game. Let's not forget about that. Aziz Ojulari, he's missed the past 2 games. We know about Kadarius Toney, Kenny Galladay. Tony's missed 4 games. Galladay has missed 2 games now. And the Jaguars don't expect to have wide receiver Jamal Agnew in this one, too. So I think that could hurt them as well. But they're supposed to get back their defensive tackle. This is a difficult name, too. Foley Futukasi, maybe, after a 2-week absence. So we'll see how that goes. But let's get this, these paid commercials out the way one time from the homies from Manscaped, and then we'll move into your game one time. Talk about the Washington Commanders. Support today for Awthentik and The Beard, the best division in football, is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels.
Bars.
Manscaped's Performance Package, the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 6 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer to you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code AATB at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free worldwide shipping, Craig, at manscaped.com, and use the code AATB. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Beard, I didn't tell you we got offered another sponsorship just this morning as well. I got to talk about that with you when we get off air. It's looking like a good one. Getting on a conference call with them in a couple of days here to finalize things. So we'll wrap about that. Let's take a quick little commercial break, man, and we'll be right back with some trivia. We're going to be giving away an Xavier McKinney rookie card tonight, so stay tuned.
Your wide receiver on IR? Aw, shucks. Your running back keep fumbling every week? Man, damn it all. Well, come chop it up with your boys. We are waiver wire tight. Awthentik and The Beard. Every Sunday morning, streaming live at 11 a.m.
All right, y'all. Y'all know what it is, man. The Parlay streaming live every Sunday morning, man. We'll be live this Sunday at 11 a.m. It's going to be a good one right before the 1 o'clock game with the New York Giants. Y'all playing at 1 o'clock as well, too, right?
I think everybody, all of the NFC East games this week are at 1 o'clock. So Dallas plays at 1, y'all play at 1, we play at 1. So it could be jam-packed early.
Yeah, trying to catch up
slates.
to them Philadelphia Eagles a little bit. This is a good week for all the teams to get a win, man. Try to get a half a game a little bit closer there. But it comes the time, everyone's favorite time. It's trivia time, man. So let's get these jazz flutes popping one time. Let's show the viewers what is at stake this week one more time. Let's get you on that solo screen one time.
If you are a New York Giants fan and you win the trivia, you will be taking home a Xavier McKinney autographed rookie card.
Autographed. I didn't even get to say autographed on Twitter.
Yep.
Wow.
Xavier McKinney autographed rookie card. And if you're a Washington fan and you win, you'll be able to take home a Logan Thomas autographed rookie card. And if you're a Philadelphia fan or a Dallas fan, I got a couple of pennants over here for you guys as well. So, and if you're a fan of a team of none of those and you don't want any of those, you just tell me the team that you're a fan of, and the Beard will pull something out of the magic hat for you.
I like the Vanna White hands.
I mean, it's the music has got me having to do like that.
All right, chat. Y'all better get y'all thinking caps on. Get your Google fingers ready. Give you about a good 15 seconds here. We're going to give them I'll give you one hint before you see it on the screen. And the hint is the Big Apple. Beard, you ready?
Now. I am ready, yeah. I don't even know the answer, but I know the answer. That's my fault.
You got to love it. You got to love it. Chat, let me see some biceps in the chat to make sure y'all ready. We're running on good time here. Let me see them biceps in the chat one time. Left side.
Strong side.
Yeah, word. You digging that music, right? I'm about to sample this and flip this one time, man. Make this into a nice little trap beat with some jazz flutes one time here. All right, y'all. Trivia is about to hit the screen. Get your fingers ready. Get your thinking cap ready. Today's trivia question is, what Giants 7th-round draft pick had 2 seasons of at least 1,000 rushing yards? Beard, I will need confirmation in the private chat when we do see the correct answer on the screen. I will tell you the answer right now as well. Don't listen to how many times my fingers type trying to cheat. You little weasels. All right, the beard has the answer. Let's make sure we got, oh man, we got some answers bright and early. Okay. Hey, Beard, do we accept answers that are spelled with maybe one letter, two letters, right or wrong here?
I think that would be the right thing to do.
Yeah, we're not gonna grammatically correct anybody on the show, right? Tell me who you got in the chat first, and we'll confirm here just to make sure. You like the like silhouette, like he's in an interview and he committed a crime over there on the banner.
That was my favorite part.
We got a lot of the same guesses here, man. This is kind of interesting.
I'm hoping that when the answer, does it like reveal the guy?
Oh, come on. I mean, you know the graphics department, man. We've been paying them so well. Of course they're going to reveal the guy.
So I put who I thought was in the first in the private chat.
Yep, I see it. All right. So before we actually, somebody paid a super chat with their answer. Like maybe if I send them $2, I could get that right. I like that. We'll get to that super chat in a second here one time. But let's fade out these jazz flutes and go ahead and reveal the answer one time. I decided to change up the way we did the answer this week too. So this is the correct answer right here. Saw a lot of Ahmad Bradshaw's in the chat, man. Shout out to the 7th round draft pick from the New York Giants out of Marshall. Ahmad Bradshaw is from Virginia too, man. He was the best player in the state of Virginia, man. Also talked about how Brandon Jacobs took him under his wing in that running back room and said, bro, I got you. Shout out to Ahmad Bradshaw. And also shout out to the homie who's been pretty much a day one here with Awthentik and The Beard. Flem Dog was the first one with the correct answer in the chat. You are going to be winning a signed rookie card by Xavier McKinney, man. So big shout out to the homie Flem Dog one time, who's going to be taking home that Xavier McKinney rookie card, man. That is awesome. Shout out to everybody who tuned into the trivia section on Awthentik and The Beard. We had some big winners this year, man. We gave away the helmet last week. We had the Tiki Barber card that Max Webster won. We had the Michael Strahan card that the homie's father won, man. That was awesome. He said he loved that. What else? We gave away the Hakeem Nicks. That was that Lax, or was that Word that was Lax that won the Hakeem Nicks, I believe.
The Tiki Barber card.
The Tiki we had. The pennant we had.
The pennant. The Saquon. I could say somebody had a second placer one week, and we gave Simon got the Saquon Barkley. I mean, yeah, we're tossing them out there, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, we got to be one of the we're like the Pat McAfees of the lower division.
I was hoping to win that $500.
I saw you.
I should really use that $500 right now. Shout out to Pat McAfee, man. They're doing great things for the podcast community. And also, shout out to SHU Carter. I'm glad you brought that up.
$1.99 super chat. Ahmad Bradshaw for the win.
For the win. Shout out to SHU Carter one time. We got
appreciate you.
Maybe next week you'll get to the chat just a little bit earlier, get you a W right there. But shout out to Flem Dog one time, man. Flem Dog, don't forget, reach out to either one of us on Twitter, man. Send us your shipping information. The Beard will have that out as soon as possible. And I wanted to send a big shout out to Vintage Sports Flips, and I also want to send a big shout out to Over the Years Sports for sponsoring this. That's the Beard's company. He collects a lot of memorabilia. Make sure y'all go subscribe to Over the Years Sports, and also Over the Years do a lot of antique collecting and auctions just about every week. So salute to you, the Beard, man, for supplying today's winning goods. Let's get into your game, man. Let's talk about those Washington Commanders before we get to talking about the Thursday night football matchup one time. All right, the 3-3 Packers are headed to FedEx Field to take on the Washington Commanders, who are sitting at a dismal 2-4. probably the most unimpressive 2-4 team in the entire NFL right now. The Beard's not going to like that. The Packers are favored by 4.5 points in this game. Last week, the Packers lost to the New York Jets, man. Their second straight loss to a New York team. They lost to the Jets 27-10. The Commanders beat the Bears on Thursday Night Football in a barn burner, 12-7. That one was a great game. And the Commanders' victory in Chicago snapped a 4-game losing streak. Taylor Heinicke is expected to make his 17th pro start and his 16th pro start with the Washington Commanders since debuting for the team in the 2020 wildcard round against the eventual Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Packers have lost 2 consecutive regular season games within the same season. It's the first time in Matt LaFleur's coaching career. I thought that was crazy. They have not lost back-to-back games until just now. Packers are coming in with the 15th ranked overall offense in this one. The Packers, man, they've been super fortunate. You know, I started thinking about this the other day in a debate on Twitter. The Packers have had 2 quarterbacks in the last 30 years, man. Could you imagine that being your franchise? I don't think so. Let's keep it pushing here. Why have the Packers stunk? I would say it is definitely not the quarterback position one time. Green Bay's offense has scored a total of 10 points in this past 6 quarters. They're definitely going to have to put up some more points against the Commanders in this one. And the turnovers. The Packers need more turnovers. The Packers are 37-1 when they get at least 1 takeaway. Green Bay's defense hasn't forced any turnovers during the Packers' 2-game skid here. Mad injuries for the Packers, man. Mad injuries. Wide receiver Sammy Watkins, he's missed 4 consecutive games with the hamstring injury. Wide receiver Randall Cobb is injured with the ankle injury that he received against them Jets. He's supposed to miss multiple games. And wide receiver Christian Watson missed the Jets game with a hamstring injury and did not practice on Wednesday. So he was already missing his best wide receiver talent from last year in Devontae Adams. All these injuries probably piling up or probably not helping Aaron Rodgers. But there's one little nugget I found about Aaron Rodgers versus Washington. Aaron Rodgers has thrown 16 touchdown passes and 1 interception in his 7 career starts, including the postseason, against the Washington Commanders, formerly known as the Redskins, formerly known as the Washington football team. Let me hear about them Nuggets and the roadmap to victory for the Beard and the Washington Commanders, my guy.
Well, I mean, look, it's pretty simple. Taylor Heinicke's back. Game over. We win.
That's what a lot of fans are thinking.
I mean, listen, Taylor Heinicke has said he is light years ahead of where he was last year.
Years? I thought he just said he was a different quarterback. He said he's light years.
Light years ahead than what he was last year. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, listen, I'm trying my best. I told Awthentik before we went live, I said, listen, I hope Taylor Heinicke comes out here and we get a little bit of magic. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I hope that it does happen because we need every bit of magic potion we can get because we're 2-4. Things are going awful. Our last 3 games, we've converted a grand total of 8 third downs in 3 games. We are 8 for 37 on third downs our last 3 games. We've had 27 penalties for 243 yards our last 3 games. But I will tell you this. One thing that interested me was, Green Bay. You usually think about Green Bay. Big offense. Lots of, points.
30 burgers.
Yeah. You know how many points Washington Commanders are averaging this year per game?
I'm going to go and say 19. It's less with
points.
that 12.
17 points per
17.
game. You want to know how many points Green Bay Packers are averaging per game?
17 points by the look of it. I can read you, bro. The way you just be like, you want to know? Hey, you want to say something to get you smacked in the mouth?
17.8 points per game for the Green Bay Packers. So
okay,
we're
so
actually kind of, we're a little bit, we're right there. So we got to do better on third down. We're the 7th worst third down team. We're converting 34.5% of our third downs, and we're going against. That's
surprising too that y'all are 7th worst. Y'all been really bad on third down. I thought it'd be even a little worse than that.
And Green Bay is actually the best third down defense in the league. They're only allowing their opponents to convert 26.6% of their third downs. So that's going to be a huge thing for us. The defense has to not allow, the big plays because that's what's been killing us right now. Washington is tied for the most touchdowns allowed with 12 touchdowns allowed this season. So, that's another thing we got to watch out for. Washington, we've run the most drives of any team in the National Football League. I told this all Authentic earlier, which was really weird to me because we are 27th in points. We've only scored 102 points all year long.
Yeah, outside of that, what was that? The first game against the Jacksonville Jaguars, y'all offense has really been kaput. And I mean, in the second half against the Detroit Lions, y'all kind of showed up a little bit.
Yeah, and listen, we're going to have to get it done on the ground. That's all there is to it. Green Bay's pass defense is really good. They've allowed the fewest yards of any defense through the air this year in the NFL. They're the only team that hasn't allowed 1,000 yards passing so far this season. They have only allowed 984 total passing yards this year. So they are, I'm not expecting Taylor Heinicke to go out there and throw the ball 40 times. Hopefully Scott Turner doesn't think that either because that would be a horrendous idea.
That is wild, bro. Like,
it is.
I will say this, man. Watching the Giants go up against the Packers, we had a lot of success throwing the ball, man. That's Daniel Jones' highest output of yards the whole entire season. And the Packers defense, a lot of people were praising them entering the year. They've kind of fell back down to earth a little bit, but to still have their pass defense be number one is very interesting. I mean, the Jets were able to move the ball on them pretty decently, but Zach Wilson didn't throw the ball that much, but they were able to move the ball on them. I think Taylor Heinicke is going to have to find a way to be able to throw it in this game. They're going to key in on trying to stop the run for sure.
Yeah, they're going to have to move him outside the pocket. Listen, if you have Taylor Heinicke, They fail to do this with any other player, so I don't know why I get my hopes up that they'll do it with Taylor Heinicke, but use him to what he's for his strengths. Make him do what he's good at doing. He's good at getting, outside the pocket. He's not necessarily good at throwing the ball outside of the hashes. So if you're going to have to throw the ball outside of the hashes, make it a little bit easier for him and roll him out to make those throws a little bit easier. You're going to have to try to work the middle of the field. We'll see if Logan Thomas is healthy enough in this game. We haven't seen a lot of tight end stuff at all.
Has Thomas been did he not play last week?
He hasn't played for 2 weeks now in a row.
2 weeks
2 or 3 weeks, yeah. So he's been out, so hopefully we can figure out a way to use him. Like I said earlier in the show, Jahan Dotson tweaked his hamstring in practice today. He was supposed to make his return to the lineup this weekend. Now that is up in the air, so we'll kind of see how that goes. I basically have the roadmap's got 5 directions on it.
Okay. Before you get into the roadmap, though, I want to talk about y'all third down struggles. I think a lot of y'all third down, not a lot, but at least some of y'all third down struggles is coming from your field position. Right now, the Commanders are dead last in the NFL in starting field position. So a lot of people like to overlook special teams, right? But if you look at the success that Cooper Rush had with the Dallas Cowboys, a lot of that's predicated on field position. Kevontae Turpin has been doing a fantastic job returning punts and getting good field position. The Giants, we have upgraded our special teams a good bit, too, to have our field position be increased a bit, too. So now you're not looking at, starting drives on your own 15, on your own 10, trying to drive 90 yards, try to put 7 in the end zone. You can have some more manageable kind of drives and be able to, put up 60 yards and maybe see your way into the end zone. So I wanted to just bring a little bit of attention to that stat that, you guys are starting off with the worst field position. I don't know who's returning kicks for y'all right now.
That was Dax Milne, and he was horrendous. Now they have Antonio Gibson returning kicks.
I'm glad you brought up Antonio Gibson. So another thing before you get into the roadmap, fantasy question. Gibson or Brian Robinson, are they still talking Brian Robinson as the starter? Is Gibson going to get the carries? He was projected for like 6 points on my fantasy team, and I got a real big decision here if I'm going to start him or Melvin Gordon, who they named the starter after sitting the bench the whole week.
I don't. That's a weird situation for both your running backs. Basically, I mean, Melvin Gordon was the starter. What do you mean he got that was the weirdest thing ever? Like, why did the head coach come out and name the starter the starter?
Yeah, I mean, he sat the bench the whole damn game. I don't even think he might have had 1 carry for 8 yards. I think that's what it was. So I got a little bit more confidence because my running back room looks crazy, and I have a little bit more confidence in Melvin Gordon. I'm like, okay, at least he'll probably get the touches this week. But Gibson, I'm extremely, I'm shaky about that. I'm just like, I can't have 2 running backs in my lineup that are, that might not get the volume.
It's just too. I think it's too early to tell because, like we talked about a little bit, how the coaches came out last week and said they made a mistake by not getting Antonio Gibson the ball earlier on in that game against Chicago. He only touched the ball 3 times in the first half. But then in the second half, that one drive, he accounted for 44 yards of the 63-yard drive.
It really sparked it for y'all. We talked about that, and I think he ended the day with just 5 carries. He was averaging like over 6 a carry. I mean, you got to find a way to get him involved in the offense. And they talked about that in the press conference about, they didn't utilize him enough. So I'm hoping he can get more touches this week. And I think you're going to need him. I mean, if we're the coaches of the Commanders, are we overlooking experience, man? This is like, it just reminds me of the situation with Adrian Peterson and Darius Geis, who I'm surprised Darius Geis hasn't really made an effort to come back into the league. Yeah.
Weird.
Interesting. But shout out to the homie.
For the $4.99 super chat says salute to Awthentik and Beard, and for all diehard Giants fans around the world, please slap all stinky boys losers out of the dough and F all Jags and Ingram. Losers. Salute Italy.
Italy. My guy. Shout out to one time in the building.
I love reading those super chats. So
Tudo out here flexing on him.
Yeah, we appreciate it, Tudo, as always, man. Thank you so much for the support, my man.
I think Chris Peace is headed out, man. Salute to Chris Peace one time, man.
All right,
plugging
Chris.
us a lot on Twitter.
Yeah, it's tough because we don't have.
Maybe Tudo's just waving hello. Maybe he's just waving hello to Chris Peace.
Oh yes, because it's tough because Chris Peace. Like, hey, peace.
Hey, peace.
Chris.
Yeah, because it's tough. Shout out to Beige Boy, too. That's Michael Knight's brother, man. Michael Knight was telling me he put you on to the podcast, man. Glad you digging the vibes, man. Salute to the Beige Boy one time in the building, too.
And the Beige Boy is a Commanders fan, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Word. That's what's up.
I believe so. Correct me if I'm wrong, Beige Boy. I'm pretty sure you're HTTC all day, my man. So
he said Darius Geis was a problem before the Skins drafted him. Yeah, he was, man.
Yeah, he was. Everybody kind of just let it slide, which ended up biting us in the behind. But anyways. Yeah, they're going to have to figure out how to use Antonio Gibson. I pray to God, because if they don't, I've been pretty calm, cool, and collective here on the podcast, best television show not on television so far this season. I haven't really lost my cool yet. So there is a possibility that depending on how the outcome of this game goes, I might lose my cool, okay? But here are the 5 directions on the roadmap.
This is when we got to get that graphics department to get this clip right here. You dipping nuggets, drive through. I see it, dog. We got to do it, dog. We got to do it.
Here are the 5 directions on the roadmap to victory. Number 1. You already know it. Everybody in the chat, I want to see it all caps. RTDB. Run the damn ball. I want to see the Washington Commanders run the ball 30+ times. That was a new one. That was like F1, man. Yes, I need to see the Commanders run the ball these 30+ times. They have to, number 2, win the turnover battle. Okay?
Shout out to Jukes one time, man. He went to the real HU. You don't know about that, Beard.
I know. I've been to a few homecoming, Howard homecoming parties in my day,
Right.
That's this week, isn't it?
I wouldn't know, bro.
I think
I drive by Howard
University.
University. It looked like a bunch of 8th graders, bro. I'm getting so old, bro.
All right, so we got to win the turnover battle. Absolutely critical because our defense is going to have to carry this team, so they're going to have to force some turnovers and change that field position game that Awthentik brought up, which was an absolutely amazing point to bring up. And then number 3. They got to do 50% or better on 3rd downs. Okay, I'm not asking for much. 50%. Okay, like I said, We've only converted 8 3rd downs in 3 weeks.
Not good.
That's not good. I mean, we're looking at like 15% conversion rate. So I'm gonna need a 50% plus conversion rate on 3rd downs. Okay.
We got a
Number 4
question directed right at you.
How are the Commanders using him? Ridgeway. I don't know this Ridgeway you speak of. I don't know this Ridgeway.
John Ridgeway, D tackle.
He's a new guy that they signed from Dallas practice squad. Is that who this guy is?
Yep. He was drafted by the
yeah.
Dallas Cowboys in the 5th round in the
Yeah.
2022 draft.
Apparently, he's a like hard-nosed player. Now, how are they going to use him? They're probably going to have to work him in on the rotation so that, Allen and Payne aren't playing so many downs. Because, nowadays, the defensive line, it's all about the rotation. You got to get those fresh legs in there, especially when you're going against, running backs and like Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. You know what I'm saying? So they'll put him on the rotation, a little bit of a depth piece, trying to give some, a couple plays off for Allen and Payne. I would imagine that's how they're going to work him in. But I did hear Doc Walker talking about him this afternoon on the radio, and apparently they say that guy's like, he's like a big bull on the line. So it'll be interesting to see how much he gets put in the game against Green Bay. Green Bay's interior offensive line for Green Bay is a little bit banged up too. So we will see how that goes. Number 4, speaking of defense, I'm going to need 0.
Oh, you're on the clock as well.
0 plays of 20-plus yards.
0 of 20-plus. Okay.
And the last one is going to be less than 5 penalties. Those are the 5 stops.
I knew you was going to talk about penalties. Penalties have been bad.
Yeah.
Curtis Samuel, what's his health looking like? He good?
Curtis Samuel's good. Yeah, he's good to go.
Yeah,
Jahan
I saw
Dotson,
a little nugget, 60-plus yards from scrimmage in each of the past 3 games for him. So I'd look to get him involved as well.
Yeah, so that's going to be the roadmap to victory. And I'm going to let Awthentik pick this game first.
Oh, I was about to say, let's get a score. Look, I would pick y'all in a close victory here if the Packers hadn't just suffered
Lost
back-to-back
2 times in a row.
losses. Yeah, and tough offensive outputs, man. Damn, Taylor Heinicke is the unknown X factor.
It is Alumni Day in Washington, our 90th anniversary.
Man, we should.
Art Muck's
going to
be in town.
Game, so I was going to say we should see what the tickets looking like for that game. But being that the Giants game is at 1, I don't want to be in stadium. While we're playing our game, not being able to watch. Shout out to Sebastian one time in the building.
But a $1.99 super chat says, "Need that Commanders W. G-Men, Jets, Commanders, LLL." Or we could just call it an LLC, Lost Commanders. Boom. You see what I did there?
LLC. Yeah, I like that too. I
Take
just
care of
want
business.
L's. Give me L's to Dallas, L's to give me an LL Cool G because I want the Giants to win and I want 2 L's from the NFC East. That's what I'm looking at right now. But let me give you this score so we can talk about this last game, get them out of here before the 8:15 kickoff between the Cardinals and the Saints. Man, I think this is I know you're going to pick Washington. You found a way. I already know it. I just know it. You're sitting at 2-4. It's desperation time right now for your boys. If you fall to 2-5, it's Rap City Big Tigger in the basement. I'm going to say, can the Commanders win this damn game? They've lost to the Jets and they lost to the Giants. I'm riding with y'all, man. The Packers are going to lose 3 straight, man. Shout out to the Beard one time. I'm going to take the Commanders in a close one with Taylor Heinicke leading them to victory, man, 24-23.
I'm going to go with the Commanders against my better judgment. I'm going to go 21-20 Commanders.
21-20 Commanders. So we both got a 1-point game. I almost want to change that score a little bit. 24-23. If y'all win,
it's quite possible, though, Green Bay wins 36-0. But I'm just going to go ahead and take 21-20.
Man, this game is so tough to pick. I want to renege on that pick a little bit because the thing about the Packers is when they played the Giants, they had the formula. It was working. They were about to beat us. And you just come back and you take care of business. I'll stick with my guns. 24-23 Commanders. I'll stick with that.
You have Sunday, 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the parlay.
I know. I don't like switching up the picks, man.
Big shout out to PJ Torres for the $4.99 super chat. Says Butter beater. Buzzer beater. Shout out to my fellows. Shout out to PJ. Shout out to PJ because he got a David Ortiz autographed baseball from me. And I saw his story on Instagram. It looks pretty dope on his little display with all his David Ortiz stuff. So shout out
That's
to
what's up,
PJ.
man.
Appreciate
Big shout out
that.
to PJ, man. Has PJ done any auctions since that last one y'all did?
No, he hasn't, but he's supposed to be doing the one coming up after. There's a big card show this weekend in Virginia at the Dallas Expo. I think
Dope.
Lawrence Taylor's there, actually.
Really? We going?
I will be going on Saturday.
You going?
Yeah.
Keep me in the loop with that, man. Shout out to PJ, man. Keep me in the loop with the next auction as well, too, man. We appreciate the $4.99 super chat from the homie one time.
Out. Ooh,
All right, let's talk about this Saints and Cardinals game one time. Shout out to the graphics department. You guys are fast on that switch too, man. That's looking real good right there, man. You know, this just looks like they're taking their time, man. Shout out to them, man. You know, they deserve a raise or something one time, man. But the Saints are taking on them Cardinals one time. Is this really at Arizona?
It is.
My notes say otherwise. Both teams are 2-4 right now. The kickoff is at 8:15, so we got to get this all done in about a good 2 to 3 minutes. Opening line has the Cardinals favored by 1.5. I saw Chuck Pagano on Pat McAfee's show today breaking down reasons why the Saints would win this game. I don't know, man. This one's definitely going to be a hard one to pick. I'd keep your eyes on Chris Olave, man. The 11th overall pick in last spring's draft has been the Saints' most productive wide receiver this season, man. 25 receptions, 389 yards, and 2 touchdowns in less than 5 full games. He's scheduled to return this week after missing last week's game while in the NFL's concussion protocol. So I'd look for him, man. You know, Andy Dalton is getting the start over Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston dealing with 2 injuries. And the big news of the night, man, is DeAndre Hopkins is going to be back in the lineup. That is a wide receiver that I love watching play, man. It's going to be good to see him back in the Cardinals lineup, and I'm sure that Kyler Murray's hoping the same. I got into not even a debate. It was just a thread that we were on actually on Twitter, and Dan Schneider jumped in it, and he was talking about Cliff Kingsbury, man, that like dude really don't even deserve to have a job as a coach right now. Talking about that system over there being very high school, and a lot of Kyler Murray's struggles have to do with the coaching over there. I also saw another little like meme kind of video that showed Kyler Murray and about how he's like not reading defenses properly pre-snap, and you know, blaming it on the Call of Duty new release coming out this week. I don't know if supposedly Kyler Murray plays like eight hours of video games a day or something crazy like that.
He's like on like one of those professional video game
football teams. I'm just playing with you. How is he a professional football player professionally playing video games? We can't even put professional and video games in the same sentence. That don't make no damn sense. But I feel you.
He's
making money. He's making money. It don't mean it's professional.
What's it called? I mean, Face Clan, right? That's what they call them.
Face Clan? Is that what they call? I play a lot of video games, but I don't.
Oh, bro, you can bet on.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Video game games. So like they have like games. So they have like DraftKings for the EPL.
Right, we got 1 minute. Let's not get too far off in the Call of Duty vibes. I think we also got to look at the other running back / quarterback on the other team, Taysom Hill, man. He's been balling out, 267 yards and 5 touchdowns, rushing touchdowns, 26 carries, man. He's averaging 10.3 yards per carry. I mean, you got to take that with a grain of salt. He's kind of a quarterback, tight end, running back, wide receiver. Dude plays all the positions, man. He's tied for 4th in the NFL in rushing touchdowns right now. The quarterback position is definitely changing, man. Kyler Murray right now, he's got over 2,000 career yards rushing. He's one of just 4 quarterbacks in league history to have at least 12,000 passing yards and at least 2,000 rushing yards in his first 4 NFL seasons. The other 3 guys are Russell Wilson, Josh Allen, and Cam Newton. Another little nugget, Alvin Kamara has not scored a touchdown all year long. He's coming back. He's getting a little healthy here. Hopefully he gets a touchdown. I'm taking the Saints in this one, man, before we get y'all out of here. I think the Saints are going to win a relatively close one. I'm going to go with the score from the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Washington Commanders in week 1. I'm going 28-22 Saints.
Andy Dalton playing quarterback still.
Yep.
It's weird. Taysom Hill is 4th in the league. What'd you say? 4th, tied for 4th in the league in touchdown
Rushing
runs.
touchdowns, yep.
And Alvin Kamara had 0 touchdowns. The Arizona Cardinals, their leading rusher is Kyler Murray. I think James Conner's probably, I didn't get a chance to check and see if he was going to be playing or not. But if not, Benjamin's going to be playing running back again this week for the Arizona Cardinals. I like the Arizona Cardinals. I think DeAndre Hopkins comes back and has a big game his first week. It's unfortunate that they lost Marquise Brown because Marquise Brown was playing the best football of his career since being in Arizona, even though he put up some big number games and times in Baltimore. His consistency since he's been in Arizona has been better than it's been at any other point in his career. So unfortunate they lose him. Robbie Anderson is expected to play. I believe they said 15 to 20.
They was like, bro, get your ass back in the locker room.
Yeah.
As soon as he got in the locker room, they were like, bro, you headed to Arizona. We gonna holler.
Yeah. 15 to 20 snaps, I believe, this game, or percent of snaps this game. I'm not sure exactly which one
They said how many snaps? They said that already?
Yeah, they said it was either
That's
15
stupid.
to 20 snaps or 15 to 20% of the
Now
snaps.
I'm starting
I
to
can't remember
agree
which
with
one it was.
what Dan Schneider was talking about with Cliff Kingsbury. How you gonna come out and tell? Yeah, we're gonna put him on. I'd have been like, we're gonna try to work him as much as we can, lying my ass off.
Well,
Forget
I'm
that.
sure it was like a source told somebody that, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, but yeah, I'm going to take the Arizona Cardinals to win this game by a final score of 24-21.
Okay, so all our picks across the board were the same, except you picked the Cardinals, I picked the Saints in this one.
Yep.
All right, keep tabs on that, man. We're going to get y'all up out of here, man. We know kickoff is just getting ready to happen or probably already happened here. We definitely appreciate everybody rocking with us, man, on this Thursday edition of Awthentik and The Beard, the best division in football, man. This was a good, solid show, man. I love the way it started off. I now know that Chris Sims smokes backwoods. It's pretty interesting, man. I'm hoping that we can smoke on some Jaguars, pack this whole entire week, man. We got to go out there and get that dub. Beard, I wish you well, man. We're going to get them up out of here. Any last words?
Nope. Just shout out to everybody who tuned in today on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. We appreciate the love and the support. Don't forget, we are live this Sunday morning at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the parlay, where we will be going over all your fantasy football needs and picking every single game in the National Football League. Enjoy your Thursday night football.
Most definitely, man. And y'all know how we end every show over here, man. Keep raising that bar. Keep living those dreams, because the universe flows in Technicolor and surround sound. Shout out to the podcast GOAT, Combat Jack, one time, man. Y'all enjoy y'all Thursday night football. We will catch y'all on Sunday.
Peace.